All right, testing 1, 2. How's the sound? Hello everyone out there. We're getting started in just a minute here. Just finishing getting things set up. So settle in, get cozy. I'll be right with you. Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? Hello, welcome to the stream. Second one. Excited to be with you guys tonight. Big hello to everybody out there. Thank you for joining us. Hey Ashlee, how's it going? I'm sure most of you watching this know Ashlee is my wife and co-creator here, the writer in our team. Happy to have her here and chat with us, and also in the house. So hello, hi, I'm Jeff. Welcome to WagWorks. I am the illustrator part of an author-illustrator team. We're working on KidLit, that's kids literature, graphic novels. We target mostly the age group of middle grade, which is about 9 to 12 years. We are unagented, currently working on a few pieces that we're getting out there to agents, hoping to be represented, and just excited to be here and share the art with you, share the work, share the journey. Thank you for joining in. We're happy to have you here. Hope everybody's having a good week so far. Did you want to say hi to everybody? Okay, we're good. All right. So I can't believe it's been a week since the first stream already. Thank you to anybody who joined for that one or watched the recordings. This one will be posted likewise. If you're watching this on YouTube right now, feel free to drop a like, leave a comment, tell me your favorite kind of soup, whatever works. It's good. I'm just happy you're watching. So I thought we'd try something a little bit different this time. Before I get to my warm up, and just share a piece of work in the area that we're working that really inspires us. So tonight I really want to shout out one of our Ashlee and my both favorite works in the KidLit graphic novel arena. Always keep it nice and close. Let me just go the other way. All right. So this is absolutely one of our favorites. It is The Prince and the Dressmaker by Jen Wang. This is a gem of a book. Her illustrative style is just immediately endearing, good balance of that cartoony cuteness and real life detail. Really great story. Can't recommend it enough. If you are curious as to what a good KidLit graphic novel looks like, this is it. This is it. I highly recommend you go to your local library, bookstore, pick it up, check it out. Yeah, as someone who's always been into drawing and writing slice of life comics, stuff like that, I think the more I started to read into the genre, it started to shape what I could actually do, or what I could see myself doing with my art. So it's really exciting. Sometimes there's just those books. We're a pretty big reading household, so there's some very special books that you pick up and you're like, yes, this is what I want to do. I want to be able to connect with people like this. So with that being said, I'm gonna go ahead and get ready to start our warm-up. Anybody who saw last time remembers what we're doing here. Ashlee has drawn from our family deck a collection of Pokemon cards, and I'm gonna randomly pick one, and we're gonna just do a quick sketch of it to draw it. So, all right, do you have them? You have them ready? I'll get there. Just showing. All right, that's it. All right, what do I got? It is Turtwig. Okay, we definitely have a theme here. We've got the Sinnoh Gen 4 grass starter line. It's all good. Last week we were Grotle, the evolution of this one. So with that, let's get into Clip Studio. And that is the piece that I'll actually be working on. Let's open up a blank illustration here. I got some questions last time after the stream. What program am I using? This is Clip Studio Paint. It is getting to be really popular among graphic novelists and cartoonists. It's got a lot of the power of a Photoshop or something like that. It also adds in some of the great vector drawing tools that you'll see in like Adobe Illustrator, and it combines them in one really solid package. And the nice thing is, too, you can get it for a one-time purchase instead of shelling out money to Adobe every single month for your subscription. Okay, all right. Let's get our reference image up here. Alrighty. And we're gonna do this cute little guy. And as always, good idea to go ahead and label your layers. And spell it right is good too. Cool. Alright. And again, for those of you who weren't here last week, the goal of doing a warm-up is not to create a detailed, finished work of art masterpiece. The goal is to just get yourself loosened up, get your drawing muscles going. You're gonna, you know, kind of work out some of the kinks. This is the time to do it. It's not going to be some amazing original piece. I'm not even going to finish the lines probably. I'm going to probably do some rough sketches. Maybe just a little bit of a bit of pencils, which is a neater but not final set of lines that go over your rough sketch usually. I'm just going to spend about 5 minutes on this, so we're not spending a huge amount of time in it. All right, here we go. 5-minute timer is going. Anyone who wants to, please feel free to draw along with me. And the goal here, I like to start with a nice rough sketch layer. And you just want to get the big shapes here. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's kind of the like, if I can squint, I can kind of see what I'm supposed to be drawing, but it doesn't have to be too detailed here. In fact, I use a really large brush size for my roughs just because it doesn't tempt me to try to get in there and get a lot of detail in. Maybe we'll try something a little different. Instead of just drawing the stock pose, we're gonna have a sleepy Turtwig today. And not just because I'm tired, because I'm always tired. Move that guy around a little bit. All right. And obviously, since this is just a rough sketch layer, you can use pretty much any brush you want, whatever's comfortable. I've been really in the groove with this brush lately. It's just the design pencil, comes default with Clip Studio Paint. It's got a good feel to it, some nice texture to give your lines a little bit of life. Okay, so he's gonna be sleeping. So there's a little shell here. How do turtles sleep? Anyone know? Yeah, we're gonna make maybe just a little cat-like. We're gonna let it fold up its little stumpy legs down here. I'm just gonna splay this one out backwards. There we go. This leg should go back a little bit. Also, the nice thing with a rough layer is you can just move things around. It can get a little janky. That's okay, because it's not your final lines. Okay. This is, again, the stage where things are just going to move around a whole bunch. I may draw it. I may decide I hate it. I may obliterate the entire layer, but it's a good way to start your visual thinking process. This should come out more like this. This guy comes here. This will kind of jut and then back this way to the V. This lines up here. Okay. So yeah, this is what I'm talking about. This is a rough layer. It's not pretty, but that's okay. We never intended it to be. How we doing on time here? About 2 minutes left. We're doing all right. We're doing all right because we've done a lot of our thinking now. Got the big pieces fit in. Now we can start to pick the lines that we like the best. Fill in behind. Gonna make my brush a little bit smaller. Give myself the flexibility to do a little more detail. Something like that. And again, I'm not really going for neat and smooth lines here. This is just getting the lines down, kind of edging them in. This is kind of more rounded. Can I give him a little smile? Yeah, there's a little smile. We got it. I like that. Okay. Okay, little sleepy turtle eyes. Got his nostrils way up here. Let me do this to make sure it's clear his eyes do extend up that high. Okay. That leaf didn't quite come out how I wanted in the rough, so let's just redo that. Draw a little vein there. Draw this little egg here underneath. Give it that kind of resting its chin on there. Again, we're kind of just going through, looking at our visual process from the rough draft lines, picking out what we like. One nice thing working digitally here is I can just rotate my canvas as much as I want. I don't have to be standing up, moving around, rotating all sorts of weird angles. Hey, that is my timer. All right. Okay. You know, I'm just gonna rough in this line right here in case I ever want to come back to this guy, because honestly, he's super cute. Okay. All right. I like this. I'm happy with this. This is a good start. Toggle off of the rough sketch layer. And we're at something a little bit closer. If I ever wanted to come back to this, I can work with this. I'm gonna scoot this guy over. Save it. All right. So, oh, another question I got last time. Some of you may be wondering about this. What's going on with my hand here? This is just a digital artist glove. I think they're also used in traditional media, but I don't work in traditional media mostly. I work almost entirely digitally. So the glove is really handy. It allows me to rest my hand a little bit on the screen without the screen registering it as a touch, which gives me a little bit more leverage, especially for fine details. I know the recommendation for traditional artists is more, especially when you're drawing bigger shapes, you draw with your shoulder, you're not resting and using your wrist so much, but when you're getting really in there, it can be really helpful. Getting this has made a huge difference in my art process. So, yeah. But also it can be used if you're working, say, on ink, traditional media. You can do it without smudging the ink quite so much. I've seen other artists use like just a little cardstock card to do kind of the same thing. Either way. Thank you, Ashley. All right. So, feeling pretty good, feeling loose, feeling warmed up. Let's move on to the main thing tonight. So, I will say, last time I was working on some panel layouts for our meteorology-based graphic novel that I was super excited about. That one we're actually taking out to agents right now. I started working on it and realized, you know, right now we're not at a time we want to add a whole lot to that sample page collection we have. I'm happy with what we've got so far. For the most part, I did actually make one quick change to that, and I can share that with you guys. Looking at it, I realized that we wanted to get more of an establishing shot of the town. Our main character's town is Harbor City, which is modeled after Baltimore. So you may remember looking at something kind of like this from what I finished last time. And overall, this did a lot that I liked. But we wanted to give that sense of setting for Harbor City a little more. So we did this, and I can show you exactly what I did. Let's see, can you guys see this? Not yet, hold on. I should. Give me just a second here. I know I can do this. There we go. This is thanks to Clip Studio Paint's awesome time-lapse feature. Once you turn it on, it saves pretty much every complete stroke that you do with the brush, and then it makes a nice handy-dandy time-lapse for you. So you can see exactly what you did, and you can export it and share and be like, ooh, ah. Feel free to say that right now. I can't hear you, but, you know, I'll share it with you in spirit. So yeah, you can see I shifted everything over by one page. Page turns are really important in graphic novels, but we kind of tried to do each page as a little bit of a mini page turn in this, so it gave us a little flexibility while we're still working on the paneling. So I shifted over what used to be on the left to the right page, kicked the other page over to after the page turn, and then put in this nice big shot of looking down to the town, seeing a park off in the distance here. There's actually going to be some buildings I need to draw here in the background, but I felt like this gave a really nice sense of place. As you can see, I was also looking at putting like a little inset panel up here to kind of show that she was taking off on a run, but ultimately I decided that wasn't necessary, as you can kind of read that pretty clearly. So that's where we landed on what we were working on last week, but I'm gonna put this in my back pocket for now, come back to it. I'm excited to work on this project when we have a chance again, but where we're at right now, it doesn't make a lot of sense to put a ton of effort in. So what I am working on is a sample cover for another project that we're working on, our next pitch packet. Okay. Not a ton more effort. Okay. So yeah, this is our next story we're working on. It's called Gesundheit. I don't want to give away too much. I'm gonna say it involves some magical realism. It involves sneezes, as you might guess. It involves some travel, and yes, there's a cat. So I've already kind of done this. You can see my layers here where I did kind of my really rough composition, largely blobs here, to figure out where things go. And I've already gone in and done my kind of pencils layer. I might even call it a second tighter sketch. Sometimes I'll do that. Usually by the time I get to final lines, it's at least my third layer. Because I like to be able to change up my composition and play around. And sometimes, you know, you just, before you get to even the pencil step, you just want to tighten up a few things and make sure you get where they're going to be. So by the time it's the final lines, I've got just about everything figured out, and it's just kind of, it's inking, really, is what it is, but digitally. So, hey, did we figure out what other landmark we might want to do instead of the Brandenburg Gate?
Yes.
You sent me a suggestion on my phone? Because it's over here.
So, just to move down the straight line overneath.
Okay. Okay.
And yeah, take out the gate and maybe do the gondolas in Venice, or that kind of like run a white stripe like the packet. Also like jungle, rainforest type floral. Definitely should be flowers in there. Other ideas. Grand Canyon, Kentucky Derby, anything horse related.
Okay, this is
flowers, gardens.
okay. All right.
Not
Not the hat. Yeah. So we actually took this to one of our critique groups as well to get a little feedback. If you're an artist, if you are a writer, you should find a critique group. People who are working in the same kind of general genre, same general audience as you, or people at least who read those, it is invaluable. We have two amazing critique groups, and we've been part of several others, and it's just so helpful, and it's invaluable to have peers looking at your stuff and giving you advice. I am a self-taught artist, so especially some of the more traditionally trained artists in our groups have been an amazing help to me, and I think it's one of the two things I can think of that really make growth happen for you as a creator, is you know, getting feedback and completing stuff. All right, so first up, we're gonna move some stuff down. So we're gonna use our friendly little lasso tool here. It's kind of like an X-Acto knife, which is pretty helpful. My hand is super jittery. It's always been that way. I'm sure I'm always slightly nervous being on stream, at least, you know, just 2 in. But, wait, don't forget the F. You know what? That's not quite what I wanted. All right. I don't want to move the landmarks. Nope. Oh, that's not right. Come on, man. Maybe I do want the landmarks. Let's give it a shot. The other trick is sometimes you just gotta play around with stuff until it looks right to your eye. A lot of times you never know until you try it. And that's one of the beauties of digital art. You can create infinite experiments. You can save new files. You can create new layers. You can duplicate layers. You can really just, as long as you think to make a backup of the original advance, there's not much you can't try without fear of utter failure. Because if it doesn't work out, you can just go back to the original. My not quite arched enough text here. Right, that's not what I wanted. Okay. No, I think we wanted to move our names back. All right, let's do this. I will say, if any of you are out there in chat, or if you're watching this on YouTube, is there a book or a comic, graphic novel, webcomic, anything that you've read that just you found really inspirational, or that there was something that you just loved about it? Feel free to drop it in there. I'm always curious. I know for me, it probably honestly all started with Garfield. Like, it's a great, where are you, Garfield? Yeah. It all started right here. Like, this is still my book from, I don't know, kindergarten, first grade. Like the first three volumes of Garfield. And it was fun to read, but I remember what really was interesting to me was, like, having been familiar with the cartoon Garfield as a kid, I'm like, who's this guy? What's that all about? Right? And like, just seeing that Jim Davis, like, he didn't have, like, you know, he wasn't just born drawing Garfield like that. Like, his style evolved as he went on, and he grew as an artist, and I think that's pretty incredible. It's really cool to get to see some of your favorite artists grow and learn and change. And it's good encouragement and a good reminder, like, don't get too precious about your stuff. Like, please take the chance to learn and grow and try new things. That's what it's all about. Okay. So we were not wild about this guy. I'm going to duplicate this layer. This is what I'm talking about. Now I've always got this, just in case I decide, no, I was really on the right track with that Brandenburg gate that looked like it was a hat. By the way, that's the Brandenburg Gate and not a hat, for any of you who might have been confused about what's going on up here above the girl's head. The girl's name, by the way, is Cassia. That's our main character. At the start of our story, she is 10. Okay. All right, do we like the windmill? Do you like the windmill?
Yeah.
Okay.
Maybe our names need to be smaller and move the whole line.
I thought we wanted to leave room for the Polaroids, though. So, because, like, this is the safety zone,
Yeah.
the guides. By the way, in case you are wondering why I have purple lines on here, these are just kind of safety zone guidelines for, we're not ready for print yet, but if at some point we were, printing presses, like there's various safety margins that you can have on the page. The biggest one is usually your trim, which is like the area that is printed on but gets trimmed off for uniform page sizes. I'm not really representing that here, but then there is a safety area, which I'm using about a 1/4 inch just to be sure, but you want to make sure that you don't put anything too important outside of that safety zone in case there's misalignments in printing, just because it can vary between presses. You want to make sure that you keep your important information in the safety area so it will always come out.
Maybe do you want to make the background things smaller and fit one more, or should it just be those two on the side? What is the roundness?
Oh, that's a cool idea. It might be nice to fit 4, and then I could kind of frame her a little bit better between 2 of them instead of having one that's inevitably going to look like it's sticking out of the top of her head.
Yeah, I don't like that. What is the roundness going to be?
What's that?
What is the roundness?
This is the round.
The roundness behind her. The sphere. Are you drawing the earth on that, or?
I was gonna make it just kind of a fairly desaturated, solid color. I mean, I could do it like the globe to kind of capture that travel essence of the story. I hadn't gotten that far into the thought process yet. At one point, this was gonna all be silhouettes, which is why I didn't think that far into it.
You can't hear me with those on, so.
It's okay.
I think having it a hemisphere, it makes people think, oh, that's the globe, and then the landmarks are on it. So I think it'd be kind of weird if it was just like a solid color. But then I also think it's like it might be a lot if you're putting like land, like green and blue ocean, unless it's really like desaturated.
Yeah, that would be the plan. Like anything that goes back there should be, even the monuments will be fairly desaturated, and the values will be adjusted so that it doesn't, the point is to make it fade into the background a little bit and just kind of hint at it.
So should we see more of her body, like her shoulders?
Maybe? Like, you are getting a really good view right now of the collaboration process, where we just kind of, I get a first cut out and we talk about it and we figure out, is this kind of getting at what we want to say with this piece? Are we communicating the important stuff? So yes, welcome to the behind the scenes of our collaboration. BTS. Are you okay if I say it? So we, in our house, we're big fans of the band BTS. But, you know, Ashlee, who's not constantly on the internet, maybe
acronyms.
is not a fan of acronyms and was not as familiar of BTS as behind the scenes. So this was a new revelation. Sorry. Okay. Okay, so what were we doing? we're gonna grab these guys and we're gonna shrink them. I'm doing this at the same time, so it's kind of uniform with the curvature. Keep it from touching here so I can grab them easily. Maybe just slightly, okay. And now, you can grab them. And you may be thinking, but Jeff, you just said you can't put anything outside those purple lines. So it's not anything. Some of the details aren't super important. I think, you know, your brain can fill in half a windmill. So as long as all the really important information is there, you can do it. Actually, I took a like 4 month online course in graphic design, which is definitely not as extensive as it could be. But one of the coolest things that I heard about was Gestalt effect. If you want an interesting read, you should check that out. It's just about the brain's ability to complete and fill in information visually. And there's all sorts of things that, you know, phenomena that we already kind of know or aware of in our day-to-day that use this. Okay. So maybe here, we're gonna do a little visual research, guys. Oh, that looks good. Okay. Excuse me. I'm gonna create a new layer folder here just to hold a couple reference images. Well, that is not going to be our final image. That's really big. So, we're going to do Venice. It's one of our spots. Hey. Oh, you're good? Okay, I thought you had something to say. Alright. So I will note, Clip Studio also has a really handy, like, reference view. This is one of our other characters where you can have your reference files right here. But if I'm just grabbing a bunch of stuff from like Google Images to check for quick references, sometimes I just like to copy and paste it right in there, put a folder, toggle it on and off. And it's also nice because that way it stays kind of attached to the image that I'm working on. I can always go back and be like, what was I thinking when I drew that? Where did I get that thought? Well, this is where. So, let's curve that gondola. While I'm perusing a couple other images, it's a good time to remind anybody, if you're watching us live, if you like what you're seeing, if you want to know the next time I go live, go ahead and click that follow button. Be happy to have you at any point in time. That being said, the plan is to generally be here at 10 o'clock on Thursday nights. Spend a nice hour here chatting, drawing. Okay. Hello. There we go. Bum, ba, bum. Just getting a good look at what the front of those gondolas look like. A little bit of a guy here. Yeah. What else says Venice? Bridges. Bridges say Venice. Okay. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. If any of you had Jeff drew on the wrong layer on your stream bingo card tonight, congratulations. Please collect your prize. All right, which layer is it? This guy? Oh, good. Oh, good. I've split it between 2 layers. But Clip Studio gives us a way to deal with that. Cool. And even though I've said, hey, it's a good idea to label all your layers, yeah, I haven't done that, have I? All right. This is sketch layer. I'm gonna call you sketch 2 for now. Not ready to call this pencils yet. References. I think one cool but intimidating thing about this story that we're working on is the fact that I'm getting the chance to draw a bunch of places from around the world. Which is awesome and exciting. We love to travel when we can. It's been a while. The pandemic and some family health stuff kind of made that a little more difficult, but we'll get back out there one day. What are you? Okay, we're just gonna leave that. We're gonna leave that. That's good. I know where things are. All right, here we go. All right, we got Venice. Do you have any preference on the last landmark? Yeah.
That bridge is kind of already there.
Yeah, I'm gonna reduce the size of the bridge. Actually, I was looking at it like, it's an okay sketch of a bridge.
You don't have to have the bridge if it's gonna run into our heads.
Yeah. Okay, I see what you're saying. That sounds amazing. I'm gonna need some time to figure out how to like envision that and how to execute that.
No, just draw leaves.
Oh, I
Like
see.
a texture.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
It's empty.
I figured. Garfield thanks you. It's all good. So they say don't judge a book by its cover, but the amount of thought that actually has to go into a cover design is kind of incredible. What if we do this? Hold on. Put this on a separate layer. Oop. No, not like that. Not like this. Gonna back you up. Okay. All right.
Put her head.
What?
Her head.
Yeah, well, if we want to fit another landmark, we're gonna have to. Okay. Let's. Sometimes we have creative disagreements. Okay. Let's do. All right. That's what's going on. All right, cool. You know, I somehow don't think that's quite the selection I was looking for. That'll do it. Alright, put you on a separate layer. Wait, did that do that? It did not do that. Okay, now we'll flip you around. And you're just going to chill out over here for now, boat. You're going to go back to our original layer. Hope you guys are enjoying this music. It's I love Game Chops. It's great to listen to in the background while you're working or studying. I had a MIDI file of this song that they've remixed in this one back in like high school. I'm dating myself here. I listened to that thing like 100 times at least. Maybe. So just getting my little pieces arranged here. I've got the landmarks now on separate layers, so I'm free to rearrange them kind of as I see fit to play around with what really works. It's something that when you look at a final design, it's really simple. It looks simple, but getting it to read just right is definitely not a simple thing. So just to not get too tied into anything, I'm doing that. I'm using just a raster layer behind. I'm just gonna kind of mask out, block off what's behind this main layer with our main character Cassia here, so I can get a feel for things. I'm gonna name you. Okay. Now the boat. Which layer were you again? That's the layer you were. Nope. Yep, there we go. All right, switch back to our blue. I do kind of want to scoot that over a little bit. The pool is not going to be visible. Okay. Oh, you know what part of the problem is? Are you even centered all the way? I'm gonna carry the whiteout layer with you. And just give you a little scooch. Scooching it on over there, boss. Well, hey, would you look at that? That helps a little bit. Okay, cool. Alright, and you know, I'm just gonna start out ahead of the game here. A little more reference image search here. Reference image. So one of the biggest and least helpful misconceptions I had about art, you know, when you're drawing for yourself, you're sketching, you're doodling, like, yeah, you're gonna look at reference images and stuff, and it's fine. For the longest time, I had to fight the belief that, like, oh, you can't, if you want to do art, like, really, you just have to know how everything looks and draw it from the top of your head immediately, flawlessly. If you believe that and you're an artist, that is an unhelpful lie. I would suggest, though, some really helpful advice that I got on the use of reference images, which is don't just look at one image. Like, say you want to draw a bird. Don't just, like, find the one bird that you like and draw that. You should look at a bunch of pictures of birds. You should get a cross-section, see how the shapes of the bird generally fit together, and then you can play with it. You can represent it in your style. That was immensely helpful advice to me. And here, like, you'll see, okay, I've got 2 images. That's not a lot. That's not a lot for rainforest. But I also have been looking at this entire page of results over here on Google Images. So these nice, like, palm. Okay, this one's pushing a little off the edge. I'm not sure. Okay. Okay. If you had 2 spaces for Jeff drew on the wrong layer on your stream bingo card, congratulations. Really, just what a day for you. That's great. That's great. All right. That's what we wanted to see. Okay. And there's one detail. Anybody else still remember how to write in cursive? Because I'm gonna be honest, I had to think about it pretty hard to pull those skills back. I'm just drawing in some details. These are photographs. These are photographs in front of the cat and the main character. So I'm just roughing in. These are not going to really have any level of detail in them in the final product. Just kind of some blobs and shapes that vaguely suggest what's going on. But I like to have a story for them. Flowers here. Upside down tulips for you. Okay, so I'm liking this. This is pretty good. I want to think about some of these pieces a little bit more. Make sure this composition is really, it reads clearly. And when we say that just means it's telling the story that I want it to tell. Definitely going to need some more work on the horizon with the landmarks. Figure out what to do with this whole space in here. But overall, I like what I'm seeing. I've incorporated some of the feedback from our critique group. Yeah, okay. I'm pretty happy with this so far for tonight. I will say, this is just a cover for our pitch packet for the collection of information about the book that gets sent out to agents, to publishers, stuff like that. You know, we'll put the thumbnail up on our webpage for our projects that we're working on. We're things to go over, like over the moon great, get an agent, get this into a publisher, and we're working on it. The likelihood that this would be the final cover is relatively low. Covers, from what I'm aware of, change a lot. And you've got a whole team that goes into it. The publishing industry it's amazing, the gargantuan effort that goes into getting a book on the shelves at your local store or on Amazon, but that's really kind of incredible, and that's the dream. It's the dream someday, is that we'll get to do that. Maybe this story, we'll see. I like this one a lot. By the way, thanks, Ashlee. Not me just sitting here completely oblivious to chat. All right. Saving artists always save your work. Save your work, everyone. Okay, well, I think that about wraps up our time together tonight. For anybody out there, thank you so much for joining me. I'm happy we managed to avoid the tech issues tonight. We had a steady stream. It's good. Yeah, just thanks for coming along. I hope to see you guys again. Thanks for being with us on this journey. Again, if you like this, if you enjoyed watching me work, listen to me talk randomly, make sure to follow here on Twitch, or if you're watching this over on YouTube, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Give the video a like. We appreciate it, every little bit. So I think that'll do it. And until next week, we plan to be back on next Thursday night, 10 o'clock, just like tonight. I hope you all have a great night. I hope you all have a great week. And thanks again. Bye.